Welcome back to the Crescent City. Super Bowl XLVII on CBS. We are here all week on CBS Sports Network, bringing you unprecedented coverage. Our show here is Eye on Football, presented by BlackBerry. Archie Manning, pretty proud papa, you would think, with Eli and Peyton Manning and all their accomplishments and Super Bowl opportunities and wins. How about Jack Harbaugh? Pretty good. John Harbaugh, learning a lot from his father, who's been a long-time college football coach.
I think one of the great benefits of growing up in the house we did as coaches' kids is we saw our dad do it, and there are some principles that you live by. You kind of learn that early on. The number one thing is that you put the players first. If you're a coach, why are you doing it? You're doing it for the players. You're doing it for your students, just like a teacher. Coaches are teachers. We learned that as kids. Our dad had the players over all the time. Players' girlfriends, wives, players who had kids, their families were over. We were, it's just the way it was, and we always have that kind of relationship. At the same time, as a coach and in football, you have to have certain standards and certain things that you stand for and you believe in, and certain ways that you do things, and you hold firm to those things.
Take a look at what he has done in his first 5 seasons. Playoffs every year, already 8-4 in the postseason. You look at Cowher in his first 5 years, Chuck Knox as well, and these guys are longtime great coaches. All 3 made the postseason, but Harbaugh, obviously the wins and losses, very impressive and awesome company there as well. What do you think, Brian, of the job that he's been able to do so far?
Well, I like the job that he's been able to do. I've enjoyed his presence on the sideline. I tell you, I was with him in Philadelphia, and some of the corny things he may say and some of the corny things that he may have learned that some people feel that are corny, if you believe in it, it works. And it has worked for this football team. They have somehow believed in the things that they're talking about.
The first year that John Harbaugh showed up, we were a veteran team, an old team that liked it our way. We do what we want to do. We're the Ravens. We don't know who you are. That's how we treated them when he first came. And those first mini-camp practices, he had the scorched earth philosophy, which is what they did in World War II. We're going to burn everything. And there were fights and just craziness happening every day in practice, to the point I stood up and I said, why are we fighting for this guy?
Right.
Now we know why they fight for him. Because if you do what he says, if you do it the right way, you will become a champion. You will wind up at this game. So my hat's off to him. I've bucked heads with him several times. And as a veteran, anytime I did, I went to his side. I said, John, you got to do this, you got to do this. And he said, Trev, I'm doing it like this. You know what I mean? He treated me a little different.
Yeah.
But if you do what he asks you to do, you know what I mean? He rubs people the wrong way at times, but if you do what he asks you to do, you'll be in this seat. I'm telling you.
He completely changed the culture.
He changed it. You know what? He wasn't there to be liked. He's there to win. But he's there to win.
But the bottom line is that the players don't have to love him, but winning carries everything.
And respect them.
Oh, no, and they do respect it. And now, from what I've heard now, they do like him a lot.
And he's changed.
He's changed. They said
He's
we
changed.
know. We've talked to him. Guy. They said, man, he's a different guy.
He's a different guy.
Nathan, 54-26 in the regular season. Well, we saw the 8 postseason wins, the 8-4, but 54-26 in the regular season. They aren't just sneaking into the playoffs every year.
No, they're dominating. You put that graphic up there, the other coaches who made 5 playoff appearances the first 5 years. He has more playoff wins than both of those guys combined. Yeah. So 62 wins since 2008, most in the NFL, and all he needs now to kind of validate the whole process is the trophy at the end of Sunday.
When it's all said and done, and it's early because Jim has only coached 2 seasons. He's been to the NFC title game twice and now his first Super Bowl. Who do you feel will be the winningest coach or considered the best coach?
Right now, if you ask that question, more people would pick Jim, right? You would think they would pick Jim as the better of the 2 coaches, but the numbers play out that John has been every bit as good as Jim. But I think in the long run, Jim will end up being the better coach.
All right, when we come back on Eye on Football, live from Jackson Square, presented by BlackBerry, we'll talk about the young guns. Everybody talks about how old the Ravens are. Yeah, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, guys like that. They get some good young emerging stars.